The Russians don't have very sophisticated artillery, but they have a lot of it, and they're just tanking as much of it as possible towards these key targets, places like Lysychansk, that make it absolutely impossible for civilian life to continue, and indeed for the defense of the city to be held.
Ukraine has accepted that it has lost the city of Lysychansk to the Russians. It means that Russia now controls the whole of the Lugansk region. Catherine Philp is the Times' diplomatic correspondent and is now in Kyiv. Morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
It's been a sort of couple of weeks of steadily coming Russia moving slowly but doing better and better in Donbass. What does the latest news mean, do you feel?
Well, it's certainly a highly significant symbolic defeat because Lysychansk was the last city left in one of the two provinces that make up the Donbass region, the province of Luhansk. And so by losing that city, that Luhansk is now lost, I think that it's something that, so I've just spent the last week in the Donbass, and we really did see this coming. I was speaking to soldiers who'd fought both in Severodonetsk on the other side of the river from Lysychansk and in Lysychansk itself, and they predicted this would happen because they simply cannot hold the ground in the face of the kind of artillery barrage that's coming their way from the Russians. So the Russians don't have very sophisticated artillery, but they have a lot of it, and they're just tanking as much of it as possible towards these key targets, places like Lysychansk, that make it absolutely impossible for civilian life to continue, and indeed for the defense of the city to be held.
And when they take these cities, there's a thin line between taking them and destroying them, isn't there? That we saw that with Mariupol. That's an issue which maybe hints at the symbolic nature of this. Are they trying to take it to keep it and occupy it? Or are they really just trying to destroy much of the infrastructure and drive the Ukrainians out?
I mean, they're certainly taking it to keep it, but the descriptions I've had from other places in the Donbass where the Russians have already taken, like Severodonetsk, sort of speaks to that old classical phrase about making a wasteland and calling it
I was
peace.
just thinking that exactly. Yeah, Tacitus. Isn't it?
Indeed, Tacitus citing someone else, I believe. Anyway, the what is distressing for Ukrainian people who live in these places is not only that their houses are being destroyed and they're fleeing, is that they know that the Russians have not traditionally done very much to reconstruct these places that they've taken. So they are sort of taking it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And so obviously some people are staying, just hoping that the fighting will finish and that something will happen. There's a great deal of weariness amongst some of the Russian-speaking population, people who are very poor and don't really care who's in charge, and people who've fled because they know that there's really no future for them there once the Russians take over, because Russians are not planning to invest in those areas.